Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my craft room. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. If this is your first time in my craft room, you can take a look at my craft room series video I posted. It was in the beginning of 2023, the beginning of this year when I'm recording this video. I did a huge cleanup and purge of my entire studio here, and then I also walked you through an entire look at everything after that was done. So I'm back. It has been a couple months. I don't know, like 3 or 4 months. We got through the summer and I'm here. It's fall and I'm getting ready to, just do some different kinds of crafting. I'm ready to be in here more. The kids are back at school. So I wanted to share with you, I popped a picture up on Facebook. If you're not on my Facebook page over on Facebook, you can check that out. And I popped up a photo of my ink pads, and you can see here I have Stampin' Up ink pads. I have some close to my heart ink pads, and then I have Concord and Ninth ink pads, and then up here I have Lawn Fawn ink pads. So let's have a little chat about this. I just want to share a few things. We're going to look at my cardstock as well. I had someone comment and say that they really loved seeing the organization videos and my thought process with everything, and that they hoped I had recorded this process, and I really didn't. I just dove into it, and so I thought I would walk you through what is happening here in my craft room. So for a long time, for like 14 years, I was a Stampin' Up demonstrator, or, I was a representative for Stampin' Up. That's how I crafted. So all of my ink pads were Stampin' Up, and they have a set of like 40, or maybe it's 50 because of the end colors, but their main colors, they have 10 in each color family. And then when colors would retire, I would get rid of them. And then that was just that. And that's how I operated for years. And then I also, as I have always used other products, but my main crafting and my main focus was Stampin' Up. So I was using their pattern paper, which coordinates with their ink, which is why I love Stampin' Up. Like, you get their designer paper, you get their ink pads, you get their cardstock, you get their ribbon, you get their markers, everything coordinates, and it makes my heart so happy to have everything coordinating. In recent years, particularly the last 3 years, I have really been stepping away from Stampin' Up in that I'm not doing a Stampin' Up business. You can still purchase Stampin' Up product from me, but I'm not really running classes. I do my paper parties, and that's really about it. And I'm really branching out and doing more crafting for the love of crafting, what I used to do, and not so much the other side of it. And that's a whole other story, and we don't need to go into it. But what I have found is that I've needed to rearrange a few of the ways that I'm crafting. So the first thing that I started doing several years ago is I stopped getting rid of things that retired just for the sake of them retiring. I really just got really tired of having colors I loved, like Bermuda Bay. I love this color. It's basically my favorite color in the whole entire world. And it retires, and then you have to get rid of it and you can't use it anymore. Or with stamps, it retires after 3 months and you can't use it anymore, and you got to get rid of it and you got to buy all this new stuff. And I love buying stuff. Obviously, look, I love this stuff. I love all the stuff. There's a whole room of stuff, but I don't like getting rid of stuff that I love. So I made the decision a couple years ago that while I still wanted to do Stampin' Up, I still want to buy Stampin' Up product. I love having, customers that are able to purchase from me. I want to use whatever I want. I want to have other ink pads. I want to keep what I want to keep. And that's how I want to operate. And so with that, I'm finding that as I'm crafting, working in color family, Mossy Meadow was like a regal color, and Old Olive was, a neutral, or whatever it was. They're all over the place. And then when I'm crafting and I need a green ink pad, it's like I'm looking all over the place for green. And so I thought, I think I'm going to rearrange my ink pads and do them in color family, and then just also filter in all of my retired ink pads that I've kept. Now, I keep the colors that I like. So I'm not keeping everything. I'm also not purchasing things that I don't like anymore. So with that said, there's a different way things are coming into my craft room. But I had a handful of ink pads that were retired, and I thought, what if I just put them into my collection, and then all the red is together and all the green is together, and let's see how that goes. So I posted a picture and nobody thought it was a really bad idea. I loved hearing everybody's thoughts as to how they organize their room. I mean, that's the best part, is seeing what somebody does and then seeing if it's going to work for you. So what I did, I have the Stampin' Up organizers, so the ink pad organizers that then also have the pen where you can put the pen. I don't love that they stick out. That's not my favorite thing in the world. They do stick out quite a bit. You can see the writer markers stick out farther than like even the blends. And that was the other thing, is that I had ink pads sitting up here that were retired, I still wanted to use, like Bermuda Bay and some of those. And then I have this drawer over here that has ink, like markers, and I have some of these are duplicates, but then some of them went to ink pads that were sitting out. And I thought, what if I could just have everything in one spot? So I have those Stampin' Up ink pad holders, and I might need to pick up another set. The thing is that this, if you're familiar with my room, you know that this entire piece, like all of this was designed and fitted together. This is a custom shelf that my husband and I built, and it's all around this window that's very high. And like, I like the way everything is. Like, I like having that little piece up there. It has lights. I have like some twinkle lights, and then you can see that I have decorations up there. So with that said, I don't know that I want to add any height to it, but I could maybe change some things around over here. I have some of these open storage pieces, and I could maybe stack these and then add another line of ink pads right here and shift some things down. That could work. So I don't know. I might try that. Now, the other thing is that my blend markers, there's a lot of retired colors in there that once they dry out, I can't replace them. I can't replace those certain colors. So these will dwindle as things dry out, and they will drop. Like this has always been a moving piece where it's like I add a line for the markers or I take one away. So essentially what I did is I just put these in rainbow order. So just like my other ink pads. So these are close to my heart ink pads. Those are Concord and Ninth. They're all of my other ink pads are in rainbow order. So that's what I did. I took everything out and then I started to put them in rainbow order. Now the only issue that I ran into is the labels on the Stampin' Up ones, they fade. So even the yellows are really bad. This is orange and it totally looks yellow. That's not just on camera. That's how it really is. And so it was a little bit harder to put them in rainbow order based on the label. So what I found is once I started putting the marker in, that made it a little bit easier. And I did it based on the marker cap. Like I started shifting things around based on the marker cap. The other thing is that you will notice that there are a couple spots where I don't have writer markers. Like I don't have the writer marker for Bumblebee. I don't have it for Just Jade, Berry Burst. I don't have it. And then all of them don't fit. So it gets to pink. And then I have a few pink up there. And then down here I put my neutrals, which I thought, when I took them all out, I thought that was a really good option, was to take all my neutrals, so my browns and my grays, out and put them on a different shelf and just do the color up here, because I love the way that this color looks. And then even my Copics, the few that I have, I try to do them in rainbow order. And then these are my Sharpies and my Bic markers, and even those are in somewhat, they're not perfect because they're just in containers, but they are, in rainbow order, and I really like the way that looks. So I took those out and I added them here, there, and then I also added, right here are my specialty ink pads. Now, in a perfect world, I would have all of my ink pads all together. Like I would, have every ink pad and every marker all together. The way that this is designed, I don't know, it just doesn't really work. Let me just come over here and I'll show you. It just like, I don't love that my Lawn Fawn inks are over here and all the rest of my inks are there. but at the same time, it just doesn't really work to put them all together. I wish that it did. And then also the other issue that I'm running into that I'm having to figure out, like different storage, like, what am I trying to say? Like a different storage method is my stamps. When I just was getting Stampin' Up stamps, they're in like DVD cases, and it doesn't matter. They all fit on that shelf. It works perfectly. But as I have other stamps that are different, that are 6x8 or are a different size, I don't know how to store them. A lot of people store them in like closet things, and you like pull them out and you can like do that. I don't have that option. So I wanted to pop on, and I'm going to share a few other things in this room that I've changed around and organized differently. And I thought I would share that. I love it so far. I just did it. It's been like, I don't know, half a morning. And I really love it in rainbow order. I think it's really going to work for me. And I may try to shift a few things around. There's things that fit perfectly. Like if you look at this right here, that's an acrylic drawer. When we designed the unit, I did not have the acrylic drawers, and even these two acrylic drawers that sit side by side, it just worked out. It just was like one of those perfect moments where like an organizational solution works perfectly. So there's certain things that I literally cannot shift around because they just fit perfectly. And so that's a little bit of a problem, but I may shift a few things around and just see what I can do. I also don't want to, I don't want to spend a bunch of time on this. I just want it to function in a better way for me. So let's see if we can get that to happen. And then the other thing, my room is a little bit messy. I've been in here this morning putting things away and stuff. So there's a couple things that have changed. First, the TV was not here in the beginning of that organizational series. I added it. That was part of why I tore the room apart and changed things around. Since then, I've added a bigger TV down here just because we shifted TVs around in our house, and this one was bigger, and it just is the way it worked out. So I added a longer shelf, and then I added these here because it was bowing a little bit. The TV's not heavy, but just because of the way it was set up, it was bowing a little bit. So I wanted to keep my chair. This is a chair. And then I just added a couple of my containers here, which allowed me to, I'm going to swing you around real gentle. It allowed me to add, I think 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I added 4 additional containers, and those are empty right now. But I was able to add 4 of them. And then also my little organizer that I use for December Daily and Week in the Life, it fits perfectly right there. So I added that, and that was perfect. I had always intended to get more of those containers, and so that's perfect. So over here, so that happened, and I shifted that around. I love having the TV down here. It's not even, the other one I loved as well. Again, we just shifted things around in our house, and that's how it worked. This is where my cardstock is, my 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Now this is still by Color Family, and I may change that. I've not committed to changing the 8.5 by 11 cardstock yet, mainly because when I'm pulling, I don't know, it's just the way my brain thinks about cardstock. However, with that said, up here is my 12 by 12 cardstock, and it is in, oh no, it is still in Color Family. Okay, so I was thinking that my colored 12 by 12 cardstock was in Color Family, but it's not. It's in Color Family. However, I have started getting close to my heart cardstock, 12 by 12 cardstock, just because I need 12 by 12 cardstock, and there's not a lot of options to get that. And for that, I'm doing it in color order. So currently I have some neutrals, and then I have some blues. I wish that I could just afford to get all of the close to my heart colors and have that. And then I would just do that in color in rainbow order, but I'm having to do it a little bit at a time. So I'm just getting colors that like I need to fill in the gap from the Stampin' Up colors I have. Stampin' Up does not have great yellows. They don't have great pinks. And so like those are the colors I'll get next. Like I need to pick up some pink and then I need to pick up some yellow. And as I do that, I will just filter it in color rainbow order. So nothing over here has really changed other than I'm doing eventually all up top will be 12 by 12 cardstock, and I will probably stop purchasing Stampin' Up. Not probably, I mean, I've pretty much made the decision to stop purchasing Stampin' Up 12 by 12 cardstock because of the way they sell it. I'm tired of getting a whole pack. You have to get it in the color family. So like currently I don't have any Lost Lagoon 12 by 12 cardstock, and I don't want to buy an entire pack of other colors that I have 1,000 of just to get the Lost Lagoon. So that's why I've changed who I'm buying 12 by 12 cardstock from. So nothing here has changed other than that. All this will be 12 by 12 cardstock. The other thing that I'm going to bring you back over here, the other thing that I really need to figure out is I have started doing traveler's notebooks, and I don't have a way to store like collections. Now this was a 12 by 12 collection from, I think it was either from Simple Stories or Photo Play. And once I got done designing what I designed, I had a little bit of items left. I cut it down to traveler's notebook size, and then I kept all of the 3x4 and 4x6 cards, and then there's a little bit of stickers in the back, and I think that's like perfect. If I want to do a traveler's notebook layout, then I'll have this little collection, and then I don't have to keep it in my 12 by 12 when it's not that much. It really was not all that much, wasn't left over. So this is perfect to hold it, and I just, you know, put it in a clear bag like I put all of my pattern paper and whatnot. But I don't have anywhere to store it. Like there's nowhere in this room for this container to go. I have this that was under my cardstock. I'm going to clean this out. That's what I'm doing in here right now, is cleaning things out, and I changed those colors around. So I don't know, maybe I'll put it back and I'll put those containers on here, and maybe that could be where my traveler's notebook paper is, which would make sense because it would be over close to there, which I like to have all of my paper in one spot. I also might put my 6x6 paper. So currently my 6x6 paper is here, and I hate that it's not by my pattern paper. So maybe I will put my 6x6 paper on here as well. So that actually sparked an idea. So if I do, I will share that. This has already been a super long video, so I'm going to wrap it up. If I decide to change over my designer paper or my 6x6 paper, I will share that in the next clip, and show you how that ended up looking, and if you know what I think about it. Okay, let's look at what I've done. I shifted a bunch of stuff around over here, and I got all of my ink pads in the same vicinity. So the close to my heart ones fit really well, stacked two rows because they're wider. And I don't necessarily have any plans to get any more close to my heart ink pads. I'm not changing ink pads really. I have a friend who does close to my heart, and she has sent me a few. In fact, I think I have a couple doubles because she sent me doubles. And then my Concord and Ninth fit right here. I have room for one more, which I might pick up. I really like the Concord and Ninth ink pads, and I like their color selection. And it actually works better for these two sets of ink pads to be here because I can pull them out easier. When they were here, they fit perfectly, but to get them out, it was really difficult to get them out. And then my Lawn Fawn inks fit right underneath, and so that's perfect. Those were gifted to me, so I don't have any plans to get any more Lawn Fawn. I just have what I have. And then I took the pink Stampin' Up set that was up here, and I put it down here. And then I have my neutrals, my browns, and then my grays. And I have a little bit of a few spots there, which is perfect. And then those ink pads aren't sitting up there. You can see a little bit, the sun does shine through a little bit up there. And so I didn't really like having them sitting up there, but I just really didn't have any other place to put them. So I really like the way that has come together. They're all in color order, and then all of my ink pads are basically together in the same vicinity. I shifted some things around over here. I have some of these clear containers, these small ones. I have the small and the large ones. I love those containers. They're linked in my Amazon storefront under organization. I got a big pack of 12 at one point. I use them all over the place. So I have one up here, and you can see I have some 6x8 stamps, and all of these up here are my alphabets. Well, not all of them, but like those are my Stampin' Up! Alphabet stamps, and then those are my 6x8 alphabet stamps. So I really like having that there. And then these are Stampin' Up! That's all current stuff that is either in the annual catalog or the mini catalog, whatever one is available at the time. I still like doing that. I do still do a paper party. And so I do still like having what is current in its spot. And then this is all of my retired stuff. So this may change up in the future as I'm not so concerned with what is retired or what's not anymore. But currently this is working. So I have like the annual catalog stuff, holiday catalog stuff, and then these are sentiments. And then I do need to organize this. It's all of my open embellishments or things that I like, pearls and rhinestones and things like that. I do need to just go through and like organize it a little bit better. There's little sleeves in there. I need to clean that up a little bit, but that fits those better. And then this is it has ribbon in it. It has current ribbon from the fall catalog, but I don't know that I'm going to keep that there. I put the ribbon in there and I set it there, and that's fine. So the next thing I've done, because now this has turned into a whole thing, right here and then right here were both 6x6 paper. So one spot had glitter 6x6 paper. So this is a bunch of glitter and like specialty paper. And then this is like current from like the annual catalog. It's not all current. Like that's not current and this isn't current. But for the most part, it's current stuff. So the thing that has turned into an issue is I have 6x6 paper all over this place. I have it on the shelves behind me. I have it in that cubby there. I pulled it out, and I think that I said in the last clip, I really want my 6x8 paper down here. That thing that's under there, it's not sturdy at all. It just is so flimsy, and I'm not sure what I can do with it, but it fits under there. The problem is my kids sit down here and they end up kicking that out constantly. No matter how much I tell them not to push on it, it ends up getting kicked out. And then I looked on Amazon for something, but nothing, I can't really find anything that's more sturdy that fits those dimensions. So anyways, I'm still trying to figure this out, but I would like all of my 6x6 paper and my traveler notebook papers to be here, and I'm trying to figure that out. So I've tried a few things. I really don't want to buy anything, but I also am not opposed to buying something if it's not so expensive. So I really love the way all of this has been shifted. I also dusted, and that felt really nice. And so that's all done, and I feel good about that. I feel like that's going to work. So now I'm just going to address this and then all the stuff that's on my desk. I need to get through some things. So maybe I will at the end, maybe you'll see a solution for that. Maybe you won't in this video. The other video, either I've already shared it. If I've already shared it, I will link it. If I haven't shared it, then this is coming up. I redid my washi. And I have all of the footage for this, organizing all of this and figuring all of this out. So if that has not already been shared, that's coming. And I just switched some things around and I love that. So I will, give you an update on what happens here. But now it's become a whole issue where I've like torn things apart and I'm not happy with things and I'm trying to figure things out. So let's see exactly where this goes. And what I end up doing. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I showed you the ink pads and getting those reorganized and all together. I really love the way that this looks now. I feel like everything flows a little bit better. I also put a bunch of stuff away. There was a bunch of just like little random pieces from different projects that I've done. I put all of that away and I dusted all of that, and that feels really good to have all of that done. And then what I did down here is I just used this flimsy thing, and I did put all of my 6x6 paper. So the bottom row and then the middle row are all my 6x6 paper. I keep all of that in clear bags as well. So I didn't organize it. Like, I didn't go crazy. Like, I was going to like sort through it and do it by season and make some dividers, but I don't think that this is the best solution for me, but I think it works and I don't have to spend any money and I don't have to do anything. I think eventually what I would really love is if my husband would do something custom there, where we could just do something really simple and then I could make it the exact dimensions, and then those clear containers could sit on them and then I could pull them in and out. That's probably what would work a little bit easier. And then if I do that, I will then organize it better. I will, make dividers for it and organize it by season. And then the two top ones, there's some just custom notebook things that I've made, and then the traveler's notebook stuff will go there. I don't have a ton of that right now, so that will be fine, but eventually I will have to figure that out. Up top here, I just have some empty organizers that I ended up getting through. I got a Stampin' Up order today for something else. And then I have a stack of cards for my paper party and the last few things. My husband saw that I had the tape measure out and he was like, "What are you doing?" And so I got to put that back. But then I got my desk all cleaned up. I have a few things here, some Ali Edwards stuff. Here's a stamp set. Like, this is one of the stamp sets that I really need to figure out what to do with it. It doesn't come in its own container. I know people store these in bags, but I don't have like an organizer to put them, and then I don't know where to put. I don't have a cabinet where I can just like slide things out. Like that's the most I have that like slides out. So I do need to figure this out. I got my Ali Edwards order in today. I haven't opened it yet, so I need to do that. I need to put that away. And then there's a little stack of stuff from Week in the Life and my September stamp set. I need to put all of that away, but that's really easy. It just goes over here. And then I do have my Week in the Life albums out because those go in my living room during the summertime. I just finished this one up. There was a video a few weeks back, I think, of sharing the completed one. This is 2023. And this is 2022. I think it's even less done than 2023. But I have those out. Oh, how funny. I used the same ribbon on these. Different paper, but same ribbon. Anyways, I need to just find a place to store them. I don't really have a place in here to store them. I store all of my December daily albums up there during, when it's not December or winter. I might just stick these up there on the shelf when I bring down my Christmas albums. That could be something. But otherwise, I'm really happy that I got this cleaned up. I'm glad, even though that turned into a situation, I'm really glad that I did it. I think it's going to be a lot better. I still will probably tweak a couple of the colors and just move them around a little bit. That is probably something that I will end up doing. But for the most part, it is how I want it. I can access my ink pads a lot easier, and that is always good for crafting. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a little sneak peek into my craft room. This was a much longer video than I meant for it to be, but I just love chatting about organization. And when I get in here and I get to doing that kind of stuff, it's like another hobby, right? It's like another piece of what I do is organizing this and making things work better. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys later.